morning again. If you have your Bibles with you this morning, flip over to Numbers 33. We're going to start in verse 50. We're going to read through 56. Then we're going to jump over to Hebrews a little bit later on. But obviously today we're having a lunch for birthdays through the first quarter of the year. We're going to start doing that every quarter. Probably get tired of hearing talk about it, but I like eating. I like celebrating. So we're going to have a good time today. We're going to talk a little bit about birthdays today. How many of you have had a child, maybe seen a child born in the past? Well, I've had the opportunity to watch 4 come into the world the past 8 years, and I'm going to tell you what, I bawl like baby every time. It's amazing to see the miracle that God can work with a child and a mother. The miracle of birth is something that nothing can compare to. You guys, Ashley, the nurse had to guide my hand so I could cut the cord whenever Ben was born. I was trying so hard I couldn't see. Well, you have that, but you also have, how many of you have ever dealt with someone who had Alzheimer's? My grandfather, my dad's dad, he passed away in 2012 with Alzheimer's. And there's a country song that talks about being a kid and then being a man and then turning into a big baby again. Well, with someone who has Alzheimer's, that song is very true. Because whenever someone has Alzheimer's, they get to that certain point where they forget how to eat, they forget how to drink, they forget how to shower, they forget how to brush their teeth, they forget everything. And you literally have to take care of them like a child, like a baby. You know, in the beginning when you're born, that's your birthday. That's a new beginning. And as you get older and, you know, you develop Alzheimer's, that's a new beginning as well. But I left out one important part in the middle. When you become saved, that is the most important beginning that you could ever experience. So in Numbers 33 today, we're going to look at the Israelites and how Moses led the Israelites. And we're going to talk about them just a little bit. Verse 50, Numbers 33. It says, Then the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye are passed over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down or demolish all their high places. And ye shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land that dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. And ye shall divide the land by lot for an inheritance among your families, and to the more ye shall give the more inheritance. And unto the fewer ye shall give the less inheritance. Every man's inheritance shall be in the place where his lot falleth. According to the tribes of your fathers ye shall inherit, but if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks or irritants in your eyes, and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you or shall harass you in the land wherein ye dwell. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do unto you as I thought to do unto them. So we see here, we're looking at the Israelites, and they're looking at the Promised Land, talking about the Promised Land, and they're being told here, look, this is what you need to do. You need to go, you need to take the Promised Land, which is the land of Canaan, you need to drive out the inhabitants. You need to get rid of their idols. You need to get rid of their temples, their places of worship. You need to take down their high places, demolish them. You need to melt down the idols. You need to destroy everything that's there. You need to start afresh and anew. You need to be new. You need to be reborn in this land. The land needs to be reworked. It needs to be rid of Satan's influence, is what he's saying there. So whenever you become a Christian, what happens when you become a Christian? You're healed by the Holy Spirit. You're made whole by the Holy Spirit. Satan is wiped away from you. Your slate is wiped clean. You have that reassurance, the hope, the joy, the love that only God can give you. And you're made holy at that time. You're sanctified by the Holy Spirit. At that time, you're reborn. And then, like I was talking about earlier, whenever you face that death, that earthly death, and you wake up in heaven, you see heaven, you see God face to face. Whenever you experience that, Can you imagine? I can't imagine what that'll be like. I can imagine what it was like seeing my kids come into the world and the joy that I felt then. But think about your Heavenly Father welcoming you into His home. Think about the joy that you'll have there. It's unimaginable. It's beyond belief. We're going to look at what they're required to do here. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab, Jordan, Jericho, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, saying to them, when you are passed over Jordan, when you cross over Jordan from the east to the west, when you cross over to get into the land of Canaan, you shall drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their golden images, and quite knock down and demolish their high places. And you shall dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. He says, get rid of anything and everything that could possibly hold you back. When you go over there, get rid of it all. Wipe it all away. Start over. This is a fresh start for you. This is the land that I have promised you. These are the things that I will give you. But first you have to do this. He says you have to go over there and you have to get rid of Satan. You have to push Satan out of the way. So many times we see Christians who are reborn. Josh was baptized here in our sanctuary. Ethan was baptized here in our sanctuary. Those were both new Christians. They're babes in Christ. Josh and Ethan both. They need guidance. They need help. They need understanding. They need the Word of God. Just like our kids need someone to feed them. They need someone to clothe them. They need someone to bathe them. They need someone to hold their hair back when they have the stomach virus and have been over the toilet in the restroom. That's just the reality of it. I mean, as parents, as earthly parents, we're there to nurture. We're there to raise those kids and to influence those kids. We have to raise them in a good Christian home. We have to raise them up knowing the Bible. But he says, these are the things that you have to do. Whenever we're saved, whenever we're children, and whenever we're raising our children, we have to wipe away things that will hold them back. Jasper had to have glasses because his eyesight was holding him back. Addison's having problems with his ears. So they're trying to take care of having those issues corrected. And in the same way, when we are saved, if we wholeheartedly become saved, become Christians, become children of God, become followers of God, if we are really saved at that point in time, God wipes away those urges, if we allow them. If you look at James chapter 3, it says that we can't control our tongue alone, but with the help of God, it's possible. James chapter 3 tells us so. It's impossible for us to resist Satan without God's influence, without God being there for us. Then you go on and you're reading Scripture, and God warns them here. He says, but if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those which ye let remain of them shall be pricks in your eyes, or irritants in your eyes, and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you, or harass you in the land wherein you dwell. Moreover, it shall come to pass that I shall do to you as I thought to do to them. He's told the Israelites, he's told the leaders, he's told them to go to the Lord, drive them out. He's told them to get rid of them. He's told them to knock down their idols, to knock down their places of worship and all these things. God has reasons for this. Number one, God was ridding the land of a very sinful people. They brought on their own punishment by idol worship, which showed their deepest evil desires and led them to worship of Satan and complete rejection of God. Number two, God was using Moses and Israel to execute judgment on Canaan for its sins, or on the inhabitants of Canaan for its sins. And the third reason, God wanted to remove every trace of pagan beliefs and practices from the land. He did not want idolatry anywhere around His people. The Israelites did not fully understand God's reasons, though. They didn't carry out His commandments, which led to compromise and corruption. If you continue reading in the Scriptures, you'll see how the Israelites didn't go forward with God's plans. They didn't understand. They didn't have that vision that God had, which none of us do, but they didn't follow through with God's plan. And in the end, God's plan, you'll see if you follow Scripture through, they're in the land of Canaan. They've inherited the land. But they didn't rid it of Satan's influence. They didn't get rid of all the idols. They didn't push everyone out. They didn't do these things. And whenever we do that, whenever we allow sin to hold us back, whenever we become Christians and we allow that little influence to keep holding us back, whether it might be alcohol, whatever it is, or sex, or whatever, whenever we allow those things to hold us back, that influence is still there. That influence can just keep creeping up. We can get stronger. Satan can use that to keep working on us. But if we allow that, it's eventually going to show up. And it's eventually going to cause an issue in our lives, in our walk with God. And we see that here. They allowed those things to stay. They compromised. And it eventually led to corruption. And you see, if you go on and you read through Scriptures and you read in 2 Kings, you'll see that God sends the Assyrians and the Babylonians in to beat Israel down, to break them up, to go to war with them and to capture them, and to enslave them. You see that. You see that in Scripture. And if you flip over to Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, where some people say the Old Testament does not apply anything to our lives, but if you go back and you read it and you break it down and you understand that everything that's talked about in the Old Testament applies to us. Most of it does. You can find that and you can compare that to our lives. But for those people who don't like looking at the Old Testament, here you go. It's plain black and white right here in Hebrews chapter 12. Verse 1 it says, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about or surrounded with so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us or ensnare us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher, or the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God." We're told in Hebrews to lay down every sin, every weight, put aside Satan's influence on your life, push it behind you, and move on in God's direction. We're told to do that here in Hebrews. It says, lay it all behind you, don't turn around. And it says, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking into Jesus, the author and finisher of the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down on the right hand of the throne of God. We're told there in Scripture, in Hebrews, that we have to lay down Satan's influence. We have to push it to the side. We have to be reborn holy. As humans, it's hard to let go of things that we enjoy. Isn't it? It's really hard to let go of things that we enjoy. It's really hard to put down the alcohol. It's really hard to walk away from the problem. It's really hard to quit having those friends with benefits. It's really hard. It's hard to turn away from things that you enjoy. It's hard to turn away from things that you desire. It doesn't even have to be those. It could be your house at the beach that you go and stay at. You stay away from church, and you stay away from God's Word because you're enjoying the beautiful sunset. I'm going to tell you all what we were down there Friday night, the sunset over that ocean. It was just gorgeous. There are no words to describe it. It was gorgeous. If you take that here on earth and what you see here, and you think about what you'll see in heaven, think about the most beautiful thing you can see here on earth, and then think about what it could possibly be like in heaven. You can't describe it. You can't imagine. We're told through Scripture, anything that you see here, the joy you experience here is nothing compared to the joy you experience when you meet Him face to face. The beauty that you'll see. But we have to do these things. We're told in Numbers. We see the warning to the Israelites, and if you continue reading through Scripture, you see the punishment that they faced because of their lack of faith, because of their lack of following God. You see the punishment they faced in that scripture, and here in Hebrews we're told the same thing. Lay aside everything that's holding you back. Be reborn. You know, Ben's got a birthday coming up this week, and we're going to have a little get together for the family, and we'll get him a little present or whatever. I'm glad to see him turn another year old. The most important birthday that kid will ever have is when he comes to me. He says, Daddy, I want Jesus to live in my heart. That'll be the most important day in that kid's life. I hope each and every person in this room today can look back and they can say, hey, I'm reborn. I'm a Christian. I had that birthday. I experienced that. Mine was in March 2013 when I got to experience it. It was March 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I was saved, and then I was baptized. I hope you can remember the experience, the feeling that you had that day, that you begged God to fill your heart, to wipe away your sins, to ease your pain. We're having a birthday lunch today for the first quarter of the year. I would like to think about it along the lines of we're having a birthday party for the reborn. I'm not saying your earthly birthday is not important, but think about that birthday that you experienced whenever you were reborn in Jesus Christ. Think about God the Father. Think about the things that He's done for you in your life. Think about what He's done for your family. Think about the blessings that you've experienced because of Him. They're not brought on by yourself. I said last week that everything that I have on this earth and this life is only given to me for a short time. It's lent to me. God has just given it to me to use. He's made my life easier. He's made it where I can do many things with my kids, with my family, and have a good time. He has. What's He done in your life? Thank Him for it this morning. Thank Him for allowing you to wake up, for you to breathe His air, for you to see His sky, for you to sit in His pew. Get on the altar and lay it out this morning. Thank Him. Thank Him for making you sick, where you can actually lay in the bed and rest for a little while, because we are so busy in this day and age that we don't do nothing but run ourselves ragged. In sickness, thank Him. When I'm sick and I'm running a fever, I lay in the bed. You got to rest. Thank Him for the opportunity that He slows you down where you can pick His Word up. You can read His Word. You can worship Him. We're supposed to thank Him in the good and the bad. We told that all throughout Scripture. So this morning, please lay on the altar for God. Give it all to Him. Tell Him thank you. I'm going to ask Martha if she will play something this morning. God, this altar shouldn't be open. Or it shouldn't be empty this morning. It should be full, because we all have blessings beyond measure. Please tell Him thank you.